Your calendar filled with work, day in, day out. You were doing so much, but you hit a place where eventually your income kind of flattens out. And maybe you've been thinking about raising rates, but you're not sure how without justifying it, or maybe adding more hours to your workday and there's no more left to give. And if that is true for you, then you have what I call an upper limit challenge. I'm Lauren Fogelman with Business Success Solution, and I help accounting firm owners be able to double their revenues working half the time. And there is now a strategic tool that is so readily available to you. And it is something that allows you to increase your capacity, communicate value clearly, and even raise your rates with confidence. It is ChatGPT, or whatever your favorite AI opportunity is. So whatever your AI go-to is, I tend to talk about ChatGPT because it's most popular. It is something that's going to help you. And as what we're talking today, I'm going to share a simple framework that helps you turn that efficiency into profitability and know how to speak about it with clients, with potential clients, so you're actually leading with value and able to confidently raise your fees, not just with new clients coming in, but those old legacy clients that haven't had a price increase since day one. So think about this. Not only when was the last time you raised your fee, but when was the last time that your legacy clients have been caught up to the fees that your new clients coming in are being charged? And a lot of times what I see is the mindset of the more that you work, staying busy, that's the value. And you think that if you're working hard, then your pricing must be fair. And that's true to a degree, but fairness about the fee that you charge is subjective. What you think is fair is different than what clients think is fair. And a lot of times, busyness does not equal profitability, even though it seems like a logical formula in your mind. So you can be fully booked and still be underpaid. And this means long nights, it creeps over into the weekend, and you still feel like you're running on a treadmill, catching up. And as a result of that, you're now on the path to burnout, maybe some resentment, and a business that entirely depends on how many hours you can physically work. If that's your case, because you're still charging for your time, then once again, you have that upper limit challenge. And this is due to trading time for dollars and also realizing that if you keep on doing this, you will max out. So instead of asking yourself, how can I work faster? Let's go ahead and change the question and now ask yourself, how can I stop connecting my worth and the value of what I do to how long it takes, the amount of hours that I'm spending on a client's file. So once again, stop asking how you can work faster and start to think about how can you equate the work that you do for clients to the value as opposed to the hours that you're working on that client's file. And if you want to be able to start looking at this differently, opening up your eyes and your perspective to a new way of approaching this, then check out what I call, and I'm going to talk about right here, the ChatGPT Profit Formula. It has 4 steps. The first one is efficiency, and then we look at capacity, value, and higher fees. So let me just walk you through each one. The very first one is efficiency. So think about identifying those repetitive tasks, the low value things that take up so much time. Maybe it is responding to client emails because your inbox is flooded. It could be those recap emails that you're sending out, possibly meeting notes, coming up with proposal drafts, or following up with something else that you promised them. Any one of those is going to go ahead and take a lot of time. Not all of them equally deepen client relationships. So that is what we want to think about, is which one of these are really effective from a client's point of view of value, as opposed to something that just takes more time. And a lot of these things that you're doing that I just mentioned actually ChatGPT with the right prompts can do it in a matter of seconds. So think about if you have the right prompt, then you can go ahead and do what one of my bookkeepers did, put some of these things into the ChatGPT with the right prompt, and you get the response in seconds as opposed to taking minutes or maybe even hours trying to formulate the right words and get this out to your clients. So once again, you want to look at how ChatGPT can help to do things a lot more quickly than if you're doing it yourself manually. And that is going to get, even if it gave you back 2 hours every week doing this, what would that 2 hours a week, which is 8 hours a month, sometimes 10 if there's 5 weeks in a month, what would you do with an additional 8 hours a month? How would that make a difference? So that is something that's possible by taking something you're now doing manually and automating it with ChatGPT. It improves efficiency on some of those manual tasks. The second thing is now capacity. So we want to not just stop at being more efficient. We want to be able to look at taking this open time, that 2 hours a week, and how to be able to make it more strategic use of your time. So instead of thinking that those are 2 extra hours to do more work, it's now an opportunity that creates capacity for you to do a strategic action that advances your firm forward. And this might be using that time to analyze client profitability, maybe have additional advisory conversations with some of those higher quality clients, or even design a new line of service that you can offer your clients. But think about what are some actions you can now take because you freed up this 2 hours a week and do something that's going to advance your firm, maybe deepen client relationships, and also will have higher value and return on ROI. So that's something you want to think about as far as capacity. Okay, this gets to number 3, which is higher value. We want to, once again, think about that 2 hours a week that you just now opened up and how to be able to reclaim it maybe for insights. And you want to look at, once again, those things that are outcome driven as opposed to just inputs. So when you start thinking about things that drive results as opposed to just doing more work, that's when things start to change with your firm. You're now driving your firm in a very specific direction as opposed to more work comes in, you add it to your calendar, and you push that work back out. So when you start doing things that add value or for deeper insights and make a difference for your clients, then they just stop seeing you as someone who does their books or taxes. They stop seeing you from that technician doing the compliance side of accounting. And this is where they actually see you more as a strategic partner, helping them to make better financial decisions and improve their tax responsibilities. So we want you to be positioned as that strategic advisor because the quality clients, they invest in valuable insights that help them with their business, with their financials, with their tax responsibilities and strategies. So once again, we want you to look at how you can use that time to do something that has higher value and benefits your clients and can be premium priced. And that goes in number 4, which is higher pricing. So think about that. If clients, they realize now the value of what you deliver instead of how long it takes to do some work, then it is nothing about the amount of time that you're spending. This is something that then opens up the ability to change the conversation about your fees and your pricing. So once again, when we start to get away from how much time you're spending and focusing on the value that you're delivering, it doesn't change necessarily what's being done for your client. It's just how you're positioning and talking about it. But as a result of doing that, that's where you can have a pricing conversation and it starts to shift everything in your firm. And by leading with the value that you're delivering, you're now in a position where you no longer need to defend your rates because you're presenting your services as an investment as opposed to a cost. When they see you as that strategic partner, they see you as an investment. When they see you as a technician, they see your services as a cost. So this is something to think about. And I'm just going to let you know this formula works. It changes how you think. And when you start to change how you think about your time, your value, your pricing, then everything else starts to shift also. So the 4 steps of the ChatGPT Profit Formula is efficiency, capacity, value, and higher pricing. Those are the 4 things to think about. And when I was talking with one of my clients, has a small accounting firm, maybe about $200,000 a year in revenue. And she knew she was undercharging her clients. She's been undercharging her clients for a long time, but every single time she thought about that price increase, she just froze. She wanted to do it, and she stopped herself. And the thing is that what we uncovered is that the resistance wasn't about the price or her worth. It was about having the conversation where she had to prove her worth to her clients, and she didn't know how to communicate it without pitching them or having to justify what she was doing. So we got together. We used ChatGPT to help her communicate her value differently. And now, instead of talking about the fact that she was doing monthly bookkeeping, she was preparing financial statements and helping them with filing their taxes, she was able to shift it around and leave with the outcome, the benefit from the client's point of view. And instead of talking about the tasks that she's doing, she was now leading with, we'll give you a real-time financial dashboard that reduces tax surprises, improves cash flow visibility, and also helps you make confident decisions about your business as well as your tax strategy. So same work, just how she spoke about it changed. That's all that changed, the delivering of the message. And when she did that, she finally tried this with one client, just one. She repriced everything. She sent out the proposal, and that client signed it immediately. Didn't push back at all. So ChatGPT is able to help you translate your technical work into business outcomes that are client-centered, where they see the value because they see you now as that strategic advisor instead of being that technician. So once again, instead of saying, we streamline your accounts receivable, because some of your clients, they don't even know what your accounts receivable means. They kind of know, but you really have to spell it out for them. We want to say we improve your collections by 15%. We're able to free up $12,000 in cash flow just this quarter alone. So you want to be able to make it something that really grabs their attention. And I'll let you know, when you lead in that way about improving their collections by 15 to 18%, being able to free up $12,000 in cash flow this quarter, that is a measurable outcome. That matters. And that is when they stop questioning your fees. So that leads you to having more pricing confidence to be able to move forward in that direction. Okay, let's look at how to start to make this practical for you so you can implement it right now. Use ChatGPT or whichever AI you tend to use as your go-to. And let's talk about the steps to start strengthening your pricing and also your profitability. So the very first thing is audit your workload. Start to ask ChatGPT to list your weekly tasks by client. And then what you want to do is ask, which of these could be automated, delegated, or eliminated? Okay, I know that sounds like it might feel scary, but ask ChatGPT to go ahead and review all of your weekly tasks, and then ask it to go ahead and ask which of these can be automated, delegated, or eliminated. You will be amazed. You might even get more than 2 hours a week back by having these insights and starting to make these strategic decisions. So that is the very first thing, is audit your workload. Number 2 is rewrite your service description. So look at your proposals that you send out and the current language that you have in it. And a lot of them are very dry and tech heavy about what you're doing, the workflow, and so on and so forth. Now ask ChatGPT to go ahead and rewrite it with a focus on client outcomes, not just the task, because you do need the task, but we want to really focus more on the client outcomes and how they benefit from you doing this work. So easy prompt that you can go ahead and use for that is rewrite the service description to emphasize the result the client receives, not the amount of time or work that I'm doing. So that is something to be able to look at and be able to just shift with the wording in your proposals. And I'm just going to say that one shift, that one prompt that you get from ChatGPT and the results, it's going to go ahead and lead with outcomes as opposed to tasks. And as a result of that, that's something that once again raises the perceived value of what you're offering clients. Okay, step number 3 is practice your pricing conversations. This is probably the scariest thing I'm asking you to do today. I know that it is something that people avoid because it feels like you're being salesy, you're pushing someone and working with you, there might be some pushback. I get it. I hear that all the time. But I'm going to give you something to think about. Go once again to ChatGPT and ask it to role play with you as a hesitant client. So that is the role you want to give it. You want to let it know that you're going to be doing a role play and you want it to play the role of a hesitant client. And this is the prompt. Act as a client questioning a rate increase. Help me practice confident, calm responses. So once again, act as a client questioning a rate increase. Help me to practice calm, confident responses. And if you do that, you are going to be amazed. So one of my clients, she went ahead and did this. She was nervous about speaking with a client about raising fees. And I told her, go ahead and have a dress rehearsal with ChatGPT. It's a very, very safe space. And by being able to rehearse this with ChatGPT, the pricing conversation, she was able to, when it actually happened in real time and that objection came up, she was able to stay composed, confident, lean into the objection instead of feeling like she had to defend it and her fees. And as a result of being able to really remain present and confident and composed, that particular client actually said yes. So confidence grows with practice. You need to do some dress rehearsals before you're in the real conversation. And ChatGPT can give you a safe place to do those dress rehearsals. So I know the next thought that pops up is, what if my clients leave? What if they think that I'm too expensive? I understand that that might be some of your pushback. It is something that every single one of my clients has as a concern when we're going through this raise your rates formula. And I'm showing them not just how to raise rates with new clients coming in, but get all their legacy clients up to their current fees. And I'm going to say, once again, there is fear. It is more about rejection as opposed to the fee that you're going to charge for the new services. But when you're able to lead with the results, and clients see your work as an investment, not an expense, then it changes the conversation. And instead of talking with a client and saying, I'm raising my prices, which is going to get them defensive right away. Nobody wants to have that happen. You want to let them know that in order to continue delivering this level of insight and strategy, your new package is going to go ahead and include monthly advisory calls, a custom financial dashboard, and priority access when you have questions. So you want to be able to, instead of justifying I'm raising my fees and getting some of that pushback, you want to lead with what it is that matters to them, which is the strategy, the insights, and access to you when they have questions. So once again, this is something that now aligns your new business model with your fee increase with something that is a priority for them, which is their growth and their business development and their profitability, not about how many hours you're going to take, how long is this going to take, and why you're charging me more. So by doing that, I want to let you know, if you are a client-centered firm, and I talk about this all the time, if you are a client-centered firm where you've already invested in your clients, most of them will actually stay. They will be able to make the adjustment and shift to your new pricing, your new business model, because they already recognize the value that they bring. And yes, there might be some that go, not as many as you think. They're not going to all leave in masses. And the ones that do go most likely weren't aligned with the changes that you're making with your firm moving forward. They were the ones that gave you headaches. They didn't recognize your value. They treated you with disrespect or like an employee as opposed to an expert. And they were always questioning or pushing back on things, or they just didn't respond to your communication. So the ones that leave are the ones that were either price sensitive, they gave you headaches, and you're happy to let them go. But the ones that remain, which is the majority of them, they're going to be more better clients now because they know that you're more invested in the relationship. You're charging higher fees, which means that they're more invested as well. And it is a win-win. You'll have less clients, but you'll be able to increase your revenues. So I just want to say the quality clients understand the value of your services. They understand value pricing because they want someone who is a partner in their business growth, as opposed to someone who is a vendor or a technician. So AI is not replacing accountants. It's freeing up your capacity. The busy work where you are continuing to be underpaid and overworked. We want to be able to make that adjustment so that you can strategically move your business forward. So use AI strategically to be able to assist you in raising your rates and advancing your firm, freeing you up from that upper limit challenge where once your time is maxed out, so is your earning potential. And as a result of that, the resentment, the burnout, it just goes away. You actually get re-energized about your firm again. So with this approach, you're now pricing based on your expertise, not about how long something takes to actually do the work. And I know you're busy, so just start small. Pick one repetitive task and let AI handle it. Just test it out, see how it works. Give it a trial run. If you don't like it, go back to doing it manually again. But as you see, AI improves your efficiency, especially with the lower value work. Then use that time to be able to have deeper conversations with your clients, be able to add in a new line of service, or focus on business development. It is going to shift how you're working with your clients and how you're now taking charge of your firm, strategically moving it forward. And if you're ready to reprice your services, engage quality clients, and be able to lighten your workload, then let's have a conversation. Go to businesssuccesssolution.com/let's talk to be able to get that conversation started. Anyway, what you need to do is stop selling your time and start leading with the transformation that you make for your clients, how they benefit. And as a result of that, your firm, as well as your revenue, will go ahead and finally grow in the way you've always wanted to. Anyway, let me know what you took away from this, what came up for you, what you're inspired to do next, what this may be validated, any other insights that maybe have come up for you where you need more information. I look forward to hearing from you in our next conversation. This is Lauren Fogelman with Business Success Solution, showing accounting firm owners how to be able to double their revenues working half the time.